So you did it. Your offer got accepted on a house in Massachusetts. That's huge. Seriously, pop the champagne, celebrate, it's a massive deal. But, okay, once the bubbles settle, you're probably looking around thinking, now what? Well, don't you worry. We are going to break down every single step of what happens next.
And this quote right here, it absolutely nails it. Getting that yes on your offer feels like you've crossed the finish line, right? But in reality, that's the starting gun firing for what is, without a doubt, the most intense, detail-oriented part of the whole transaction.
Okay, so here's something you really need to get about buying in Massachusetts. An accepted offer doesn't mean the deal is done, not even close. Think of it more like an agreement to, well, agree later. It's all subject to these things called contingencies. And these are basically your escape hatches, your safety nets. Things like the home inspection going well and, the bank actually giving you the money. So yeah, it's the starting pistol, not the finish line tape.
So to make sure you don't get lost, we've laid out a simple roadmap for this whole thing. We're going to cover what happens right away, the action plan for the buyer, the to-do list for the seller, why this middle part is so critical, and of course, how to actually make it to the closing table in one piece.
All right, Section 1. Offer accepted. What's next? So congrats again. You are now officially in the thick of it, the most detail-heavy part of buying a house. From this moment on, things kind of split into two separate paths, one for the buyer and one for the seller. Let's dig into what each side needs to be doing.
Okay, let's kick things off with the buyer's side of the equation. If you're the buyer, listen up because you need to hit the ground running. This is your step-by-step guide to get from that accepted offer all the way to holding the keys in your hand.
And I'm not kidding when I say fast. The clock starts ticking the second that offer is accepted. Your very first call, it's to your lender. You gotta let them know, hey, we're a go, so they can officially kick off the mortgage process. And at the exact same time, you have to book your home inspection. You usually only have about 7 to 10 days to get it done. That is not a lot of time, folks. That window slams shut fast, so getting an inspector lined up is your #1 priority, period.
Now here's something pretty unique to Massachusetts real estate. It's a two-step contract process. That initial offer you signed, that's just step 1. Step 2, the real contract happens after the home inspection. And this is a massive advantage for you as a buyer. Why? Because it gives you a second bite at the apple, a chance to renegotiate based on whatever the inspector finds. Only after you've hashed all that out do you sign the big, detailed contract called the Purchase and Sale Agreement, or P&S, and that's when the deal gets locked in for real. So while you're dealing with the inspection, your lender is working away on a whole other track. First, they're going to order an appraisal. That's where an independent expert comes out to make sure the house is actually worth the price you're paying for it. Then, the file goes to underwriting. This is where they do a super deep dive into all your finances one last time. And if all the boxes get checked, they'll issue the holy grail, the mortgage commitment letter. That's the official "you've got the loan" document.
Okay, you're getting so close now. Just a few last things to tick off the list. You'll do a final walkthrough of the house, usually the day of or the day before closing, just to make sure everything looks right. You'll also get a document from your lender called the closing disclosure. Look this over carefully. It breaks down every single dollar. After that, it's pretty simple. Just get your certified check and your driver's license ready for the big day.
All right, let's flip the coin. What's the seller up to during all this? You might think their job is done, that they're just waiting for a check, but nope. The seller has a really important job to do to make sure this whole train stays on the tracks. For the seller, this phase is kind of like hurry up and wait, but with a twist. Their main job is to be ready and responsive. Basically, they need to make the house available for the home inspector and the appraiser, and then be on standby to deal with whatever comes back from those reports.
Yeah, the name of the game for the seller is collaboration. If that home inspection turns up a leaky faucet or a problem with the roof, they've got to be ready to come to the table and negotiate. Maybe they agree to fix it before you close, or maybe they offer you a credit so you can deal with it yourself. The key here is responding quickly. That's what keeps the whole process from grinding to a halt.
Now, as that closing date gets closer and closer on the calendar, the seller's job becomes all about the house itself. You know, the practical stuff. Packing up boxes, calling the utility companies to switch the service, and making sure the house is totally empty and broom clean. They have to leave it in the exact condition you're expecting for that final walkthrough.
And for the seller, closing day is the grand finale. The deed gets recorded at the registry, the money hits their account, and boom, just like that, it's a done deal. The house officially has a new owner.
Okay, so we've got the buyer's checklist and the seller's checklist, but I want to take a second and talk about why this middle part, this stretch of time between the offer and the closing, is just so critical.
It's really the high-stakes part of the game.
And look, it's a totally fair question. After that initial rush of getting your offer accepted, this phase can feel like a whole lot of waiting and signing papers. So what is actually happening behind the scenes? And more importantly, why is this the moment when things can go sideways?
Well, here's the reality check. This is where the real work happens. The home inspection can turn up unexpected problems, which means, you guessed it, more negotiation. The appraisal might come in low, creating a whole new hurdle. And sometimes, even at the last minute, a buyer's financing can hit a snag. This is where almost all the delays pop up. And let's be honest, it's where some deals just completely fall apart.
Because that's really the bottom line here. This is not just some quiet waiting period, it's an active, high-pressure phase where the deal is put through a major stress test. It is, quite literally, where deals are made or broken.
Okay, so knowing all the risks is one thing, but actually getting through them, that's what really counts. So how do you navigate this minefield and get to the closing table with your sanity intact? Let's talk strategy.
When it all boils down, the secret is pretty simple. Knowledge is your superpower. Seriously. Just understanding the process, everything we've walked through today, is what keeps you calm when things get bumpy. It helps you make smart, confident decisions instead of panicked, emotional ones. It helps you dodge those costly surprises.
Look, getting your offer accepted is a massive win, but it really is just the beginning of the journey. The good news is, now you have the roadmap. You know what's coming. So the only real question left is, are you ready for the journey to get those keys?